everyone, it's Esabelle and welcome back to my channel. It's time for 10 more memory hacks so that you can have a memory just as good as an ENFP.
Hold it!
What the heck do you think you're doing? This is my channel. Why are you acting as though it's on yours?
Because I work for you and you hire me to make things better, so you're welcome.
So you're telling me that your intro was better than mine? Well, I guess I can't argue with that. Oh, there goes my phone. But
that was your audience telling you that mine's better?
yeah, I sure was, I bet. Well, thank you, audience. I will keep that feedback in mind. But the other thing I wanted to know is, since when have ENFPs had good memories?
Since now, because I said so.
Are you telling me that I am an ENFP because I have a good memory?
We've already been over this. You're definitely not an ENFP for other reasons.
Well, for my audience that does not know what that means, I hope that her comment did not confuse you too much. Anyway, we are here to discuss the best memories of 2025. Now, by best memories, I just mean more miscellaneous stuff that happened throughout the year as opposed to best games. That will be a separate video, although she will be wearing the same dress this year. So yay for consistency. So basically the pattern for this is just a lot of additional things like trips, maybe even some DLC, so it could be gaming related, it just won't be full releases. And one of those memories is meeting her again.
Finally on your turf this time instead of mine.
So another thing I wanted to do is that this year my theme for both of my end of year videos was friendship is important. You might have noticed that in the thumbnail as well. So I really wanted to make sure that a lot of the memories were centered around the people that I really care about. So one additional rule that I'm implementing this year is that if there's a memory that directly has a specific friend in mind, I will let that friend pick out the music. That is something that I haven't told you yet, so that is something to consider when we get to your section.
Yeah, this is news to me, guys. I'm learning this at the same time as you.
But yeah, you can pick the music for when you get your section as well. Just try to make it like either video game music or instrumentals just for the sake of copyright.
Yeah.
Because typically video game music doesn't have a whole lot of restrictions on copyright.
Okay. I will look for what I can where it's, free of copyrights.
For sure, yeah. Yes. Just try to make sure that it, fits the occasion. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I want it to fit the occasion, but that's because I'm me. I'm a
for sure, yeah. That makes sense. And another thing that I'm trying to do to avoid favoritism is, I did this last year, but I added this in a post-production skit. I'm going to list the memories in alphabetical order so that no one feels like I'm like, oh, why did you show me first? Is it because, I don't want to have any of those kinds of discussions. But I will also have a separate selection for anything that's overtly Catholic or overtly Christian so that we can show more reverence to God and save the actual best for last. Because I think you would agree that showing favoritism to God is actually good.
Okay, I can accept if God is the favorite in this video.
For sure. And even though we are going to try to be silly and bombastic, we're going to tone it down a bit more for the Catholic elements for the sake of reverence. So with that, is there anything that you would like to add to the audience?
I think we've said enough and we've kept them in suspense long enough, so I say we get on with the video.
Sounds good. Well, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest, and here are the best of the best memories of 2024 featuring Esabelle.
Don't you mean 2025?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess I was just too immersed in the previous one.
Your head's in the past again.
For sure.
Which is why you're not an ENFP. All right, people, let's go.
All right, bye for now. Starting in 2023, I told myself that I wanted to be more open to trying things that I otherwise would have taken for granted, realizing that every year that I'm on this earth is a gift, and I really want to live it to the fullest. Under my terms, of course. I don't want people to force me to do things I'm uncomfortable with. But one of those things that I thought, you know what, I should try going to more of was Comic-Con. And so from 2023 to 2025, I have been able to attend every single one that took place in May near where I live, and I had a progressively better time each year. Now, for those of you that don't know what Comic-Con is, it's short for Comic Book Convention, and it's basically like, I guess, an anime convention or one of those similar types of things. But the overall premise is that it's a showcase for comic book creators and artists and celebrities to be able to promote themselves. But even if you're not interested in all that, although why wouldn't you be? There's some really beautiful stuff. There are also plenty of people that walk around dressed up as their favorite characters. This is known as cosplaying, for those of you that don't know. And every single person I approached, except for one, was willing to get a picture with me or let me take a picture of them if I was in line for something. And I told myself that I didn't want to limit myself to just taking pictures with franchises I was familiar with. So I do hope you guys appreciate that I went a little bit outside my comfort zone and tried just anything that I thought was aesthetically pleasing. I apologize in advance if anything is inappropriate because I'm a bit uncultured when it comes to stuff like anime and comic books, but I did try to weed out the ones that I thought most people would be uncomfortable with, like if I thought maybe they were a bit too tight or revealing. But I think I got most of the pictures here. Unless if you're just really squeamish, I think most of you will be happy with the choices on display in this video here. So in addition to cosplayers, you can also meet celebrities for free. And this year I got to meet Todd Haberkorn, Steve Burns, and Allison Court. For the sake of time, I'm only going to talk about Todd because goodness knows that I'm a very detail-oriented person and I can go on and on about certain things. What I liked about Todd is that his wife was actually the moderator of the line, where you would like talk to her first and she would say, oh, well, what would you like to ask Todd about or buy? And I just said, oh, I would like to just ask him a question. And she said, oh, you're gonna love Todd. He's such an open book. And that was immediately making me feel so much more at ease, because I tend to get along really well with open book types. And so once I started talking to Todd, he was such a laid-back guy that he started talking about like the headaches he got from the weather change from where he lived and the time zone difference. And we casually talked about playing Mario Kart because he and his wife like to play Mario Kart, so we talked about that. I think he realized that he wanted to make sure that I got what I was coming for, so he said, oh, well, what was your question? And I asked him how he was able to maintain a different enough voice when he played different characters in the same game. And he said that it was a result of a lot of doing audiobooks that helped him be able to keep his voice fresh. And he also hinted that I would be able to see a project that he was working on that would be on a Nintendo system. And if I had to guess which of the two he was referring to, because he wasn't allowed to say specifics, I think it was either Kirby Air Riders or Danganronpa 2x2, because I had known him from the Danganronpa games and the Fire Emblem games and thought he did fantastic in both of them. I was very impressed by the fact that he stood up instead of just sitting down at his booth the entire time. He seemed like he was genuinely engaged in every single person, and he seemed like the kind of guy that I would love to just talk to at random. He seemed like the kind of guy that I would really get along with if I knew him as a friend. He was really outgoing. I did not expect that at all. I thought he would be more introspective considering the weirdos he plays in Danganronpa, but it was really nice that he was pretty good at leading the conversation and feeling like the kind of guy that would high-five every single person at a concert if he could. I also got lots and lots and lots of pictures. I think I got 94 altogether, which, to put that into perspective, I got approximately 115 at the previous Comic-Con, but I was there for 2 days last time, so I'm really proud of myself that I plucked up the courage and asked so many people. I don't remember if I said this before because I've taken multiple takes on this speech, but only one person said no when I asked for a photo opportunity. So I'm grateful for these people for not being photo shy. So I hope you'll appreciate all of the photos, and if there's artwork in there, I hope you'll appreciate that. And if that's not enough, I did not go to Comic-Con alone. I had friends with me, and Comic-Con just so happened to be the same week when Esabelle came to visit me. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for one of the later memories on this year. So I thought, as a little treat for you guys, I decided I would allow Esabelle and Teresa to share some of their thoughts about Comic-Con, as well as tips if you've never been and you want to know what to be prepared for. So I hope you'll enjoy their perspectives, and I hope you enjoyed mine just as much.
There was a lot of energy, and I really enjoyed being around all of the art. I really enjoyed seeing all of the craftsmanship. And oh man, it's so lovely getting everybody who has these common interests together. And all the costumes are also great, which I know you're crazy about that. I'm sure you got pictures of people that I did not even see.
Oh, I got a ton of pictures. I think I got probably as many pictures today as I did both days of the previous con combined.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we've been looking around. We went through the entire place and just looked at everything that we could. Granted, our feet and legs started getting a little tired, had a little food after we did that. We just wanted to make sure that we scoured the whole thing, and it was a really good time. I just love seeing all those talented artists.
And is there anything you want to tell the audience if they're nervous about going to Comic-Con or an anime convention, like any survival tips or like things to prepare for?
Bring comfortable shoes.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
That's a big thing. Bring comfortable shoes, bring money with you. If you're interested in anything, bring plenty of money. They can get a little costly, you might get hungry. And just make sure that you look for what you're interested in and you'll have a good time. And, you know, be willing to look at other stuff too, because sometimes you may not know a series or you may not know a game, but there's just such cool craftsmanship on some, you know, whatever the art is. So just look at everything, but definitely hone in on what you're mainly interested in.
Yeah, I would agree. And to our camera woman, is there any advice you'd like to give the audience?
I would say, depending upon how you feel and how your budget's doing, bring a little bit of food, bring a little bit of water. It can get very dry in there, so having some water is very important so that you can stay hydrated and take care of yourself. Especially like food can be expensive inside there. Yeah. So definitely do that and have good shoes.
As if Esabelle coming to visit me wasn't already such a cool memory, she also helped out with quite a lot of my videos this year, even making one of her own. And so for this section, I would like to highlight some of the really special projects that she's been able to help me on and sort of use this as a bit of a, yo, check out how great of an editor Esabelle is. So first off, she helped me to finally get out my behind the scenes of the best games of 2024 video, which is the video I'm by far the most proud of out of anything I did on my channel. My section of that video was kind of so-so because I don't have the editing skills that she did. I mainly just talked in front of the camera and added a few clips here and there. But Esabelle redressed into all of the costumes that she wore and talked about the creative process behind how she was able to do each skit in that video, including mentioning some details that I didn't even know until the video came out. So yes, even though this should have been a 2024 release, due to complications we finally got it out this year, and a lot of the things that she filmed for were also filmed this year. So as a treat for you guys, in addition to some funny moments from her section, Esabelle and I also thought it would be fun if we ranked our favorite costumes from that video, from least to best, for both of us individually. So I hope you'll enjoy hearing what we have in common and where we differ.
I think I got the little sticky off-center. You get the gist. This one is probably my least favorite of all the ones that I have filmed for. Okay, I'm not sure. That fairy one, I'll get to that later. This is what I wear anytime I go to the beach or to the pool. Although, I typically jazz up the outfit a little more like this. Yes, that is my style. Whenever it came to the key that she wears through her hair, I have nothing that is going to work. So you want to know what this is in my hair, truly? Do you really? Okay. A very long matchstick. The decor piece that, where is it? There it is. That is actually a scarf clip. And I just realized I forgot the brown gloves. One of the hardest parts about the outfit was definitely the tape giving on this infernal M. Even the DK was a little bit tricky on the tie, but not quite as much because it's more of a flat surface. So every take I was hoping and praying that that M was not going to fall off and hit my face. Even now, I'm hoping it does not fall off and hit my face in the middle of filming this. And you may notice that I'm dressed in the outfit, but I did not want to put this onto my nose this time, because you know how hard it is to get this stuff off? I did that once. You can look at the picture and see what it looks like. To get them to lay flat whenever they are longer, I have to take a flat iron to my bangs to get them to do that because they tend to flip. Whoop. Paul then asked me to make a dimension in which I wasn't a professional editor, so he asked me to just be in my bedroom, be in my PJs, like this. Bet you didn't know I could do that. So, this fairy outfit, I am in it again. And my leaf is falling off, everybody!
Next, Esabelle made an entire video for my channel called The Psychology of Body Positivity, and I don't have too much background footage to show for this, so I'm going to keep this brief. Basically, Esabelle made a very well edited and well thought out speech about the type of body positivity that I advocate for, which is to be proud of whatever body God has given you, whether it be male, female, white, black, curly hair, straight hair, whatever you have. Be happy with it, and if you show a little skin, don't necessarily assume it's sexual, and if you're severely underweight or overweight, do what you need to do to be healthy, but be happy with your body in the meantime, because change takes time. So let us move on to the final set of amazing things that Esabelle has done for my channel before I run out of time. And finally, I thought it would be fun if Esabelle dressed up in costumes for certain games that I reviewed and did an opening skit to sort of emphasize Paul humor. Originally, she was going to do a skit for every game on my best games video, but due to something that I'll mention later in the video, that didn't end up working out, so we just decided we'll do that for the reviews and save some of those skits for this highlight reel for the best memories. So, once again, she continued the tradition that she did in the Best Games of 2024 video by making beautiful costumes, wonderful editing, and really doing a fantastic job of taking Paul humor to the next level in a way that I could never do by myself. Unfortunately, the highlight reel I had in mind is just way too long, and this video is already almost 20 minutes. We haven't even gotten to my other friends. So I do not want you to think that Esabelle is the only friend I'm going to be honoring in this video. I do have plenty more to come, trust me. But there were 2 skits in particular that just got me to chuckle endlessly. So they're short, but after that, I'll just say go and watch my reviews and my eventual tributes if you want to see all of the amazing acting work Esabelle has on display. And then hope you'll join me in celebrating the rest of my friends that made me happy this year.
Tori Saturn for the Nintendo Switch. The Switch 1, not the Switch 2. Because it's so retro, it can't even have cutting-edge graphics. Paul? That is your cue to transition to the cover art. Do we really need more retro games out there, guys? I'm out of here. Hello, Paul's audience. Esabelle here, and Paul wanted me to give my non-gamer thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Paul, I think I'm stuck. Paul! Paul, don't just leave me! Paul! 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 Paul, come back! Paul! Paul, please help me! Paul, there you are. Please help.
Why, Esabelle? What on earth happened to you?
Please get me out of this. I think I'm stuck.
Stuck, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I could just leave you like that for the mean things that
What?
Well, you said a whole bunch of mean things during your revenge arc in my Best Games of 2024 video. But I suppose I could forgive you since Jesus is all about forgiveness.
Oh,
so,
please.
there you are. Do you feel better now?
Much better.
Well, are you ready to give your thoughts then?
I'm ready as I'll ever be now that you've released me.
Alrighty then. Well, audience, now that we have the power of friendship on our side, it's time for my editor / quality assurance assistant to give her non-gamer thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Over to you, Esabelle.
Let's go, guys.
See, I told you I have other friends besides Esabelle. Danielle is such a special friend of mine that I thought it would be fun if we started doing something called a friendversary, where we keep track of the day that we met. Well, in this case, more so the month that we met, because the actual day is a bit ambiguous. And we do an extra special hangout where we just center the whole thing around our friendship and the things that we like to do. So we filmed a video where we talked about some of the highlights of our interactions, and that video is on my channel if you want to check it out. And since Danielle's the type of person that doesn't need a huge scripted agenda, she thought that if we just did the filming and we watched my best games and my best memories videos, that would make her happy. And honestly, this hangout was actually quite the turning point for me in terms of how I viewed my YouTube channel. Because when Matt and Danielle, Matt is Danielle's husband, by the way, and also our cameraman, they gave me a round of applause and went through each individual section of those videos and told me what they like. And I said, I'm going to treat every single like on my future videos as though it's people like Danielle and Matt congratulating me. So if a video does terrible and only scores, say, 21 views, but I end up getting 4 likes, then I will still consider that a success, because that is 4 Danielle and Matt clapping. On a day where we're supposed to celebrate each other, Danielle and Matt helped me to celebrate my own achievements. And I'm also just really thankful for Danielle in general, how she is really fun to talk to on the phone, and she's always very encouraging to me, and always telling me I'm doing a good job as opposed to cutting me down. And every single time I even have just a normal hangout with her and Matt, it's an absolute blast. So, Danielle, if you're watching this, I hope you're not going to go anywhere, because you are a very special friend of mine, and I hope our friendversary helped you to feel like you're really someone special in my life. Oh, and Matt, if you're listening to this, don't worry, your section's coming later. I just did them in alphabetical order, so stay tuned, guys, to hear about his awesomeness as well. But first, let's do some highlights. And I decided that I was going to hold a special ceremony where it was just the 3 of us and then our mutual friend Kara. And we just pretended like they were getting married, and we just said like, you can hug the bride and groom.
Yeah, that was fun.
As like a compromise. And then I did a best man speech, and Kara did a maid of honor speech. And I think, didn't you say that you, in some ways, you liked it better than your actual wedding?
Well, I wouldn't go that. I loved it. I was very appreciative, but I do think my actual wedding, you know, kind of was a little higher.
And suddenly the doors burst open. Danielle came running in, and she said, "Oh my gosh, Paul, I know you! You're the guy that made all those cool posts on that Facebook page."
I hope I didn't do it like that necessarily. No, I was weird because I saw you and I'm like, where do I know you from? It's like one of those moments where you're thinking like, okay, I know this person, but how do I know them? So yeah, that took a minute for me to like just be looking at you. If I was looking at you, I'm sorry. I was just like, where do I know him from? Yeah, you used to call me the lovable airhead. I remember those days. He's since stopped, so I probably shouldn't have brought this up, but...
Well, now you're the one that keeps bringing it up.
That's true. That's true. That's fair. But...
One time you even sent me a card a couple of years ago that said, "From your lovable airhead." And it's like, you said it, not me.
That's fair, but there was a while that you called me that, but
yeah,
it was out of love.
It was it was a term of endearment because in the book that I read that from, it was what was the book called? It was something like the 5 different types of girls, and in the book, the authors, which were all men, specifically said the airhead is our favorite type of girl, and so
I did not know that was the origin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mike introduced me to it, and we were reading about the different types of girls, trying to figure out which one you were. And we said, "Oh, Danielle, you're the airhead. That's like the best girl." And we meant it as a compliment, but you were like, at the time, you didn't realize that that's what we were getting at. So maybe we could have phrased that a bit better. But we meant it as like, "Danielle, you're the best because this is the best girl in the book."
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
Danielle.
guess I should thank you.
It was a compliment.
There was a time where she said, "Paul, Matt and I have been learning from you. We got a wedding planner."
Yeah. Friendship.
Power of friendship, yeah. It's a cliche in anime, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah. No.
We should do another high five but slow motion.
Slow motion. Well, okay. I think we're gonna take.
I was trying to do the Big Hero 6 but I failed.
Should we try it again? Then?
Sure.
I'm excited for the next like 15 years. We'll probably be like gray by then. Like maybe you'll have like a little cane. Well, I don't know, but maybe not
We'll
that.
see.
And a hug.
Aww.
Yeah. Happy friendiversary.
Happy anniversary to you too.
Aw.
When HBO announced that they were remaking the Harry Potter series into a TV show, a lot of fans were concerned. And it seems like the most prominent opinions that I've been hearing are 1, it might not be faithful to the source material, and 2, people thought that the movies were timeless classics, and to them, the people cast in the movies were perfect and they couldn't do a better job if they tried. I couldn't disagree more, honestly. I think that the movies have aged pretty terribly, and the inconsistency between directors and screenwriters has really helped them to look kind of disconnected, and the fact that the movies were made before Rowling finished writing the books made for some really awkward shoot-in scenes, especially in Deathly Hallows Part 1. So imagine my surprise when the same year that they started filming the TV show, Audible put out audiobooks for the Harry Potter books, but this time there's a catch. They are full cast audiobooks, meaning that every single character is voiced by a professional actor. Now, admittedly, I have not finished the first audiobook, and that's mainly because my sister and I want to experience it together, just like the old days when I would read the Harry Potter books to her, so this is the newest evolution for us. But so far, we're on chapter 10, and both of us have almost no complaints. We think that it's spectacular. It has music tracks for a lot of the scenes. There's ambient sound effects that you can really immerse yourselves in the environment. All the performances so far have been spectacular, except the guy who plays Snape. But it's possible that my sister and I are just too used to Alan Rickman, and we just need to accept that this is a younger guy who's more age appropriate to how Snape was supposed to be, because as great as Alan Rickman was, he was also way too old for the role. And one thing that I think is really cool is that the girl that plays younger Hermione, because all the books are coming out within 6 months, so the actors didn't have time to age up, she's going to be Hermione in the TV show. So it was nice to get a little bit of a preview of what we can expect from her. And while I didn't recognize most of the actors that they announced, I'm really excited to hear Bill Nighy return, except that instead of playing the Minister of Magic, he's going to be playing Professor Slughorn, and I hope he does it justice with that very confusing accent of his, because definitely not the first pick I would have had for Slughorn's voice. And the attention to detail in this audiobook, from what I've heard so far, is incredible as well. Like, as early as Chapter 1, Dumbledore and McGonagall are referring to Voldemort as Voldemort. And when my sister first heard that, she said, why are they pronouncing his name different? I said, well, that's how J.K. Rowling pronounces it. So they're going by authorial intent. How often can you say any kind of remake actually respects the author to that degree? And other little things, like when Harry is talking to the snake in the zoo, his S's are more pronounced, and the audio is a bit distorted, which is a bit of a hint of a reveal in Chamber of Secrets. I'm glad that these audiobooks exist for people that wish that the Harry Potter movies could be remade, but be more faithful to the books. And I feel like this is a spectacular compromise for people that are turned off by the TV show, because the TV show could rewrite certain scenes so that they're not as authentic, or maybe the characters won't look or sound right, but here you get word for word exactly what the books say. And honestly, at this point, I can't think of what I want more. I'm still going to be excited for the Harry Potter TV show, but this is a fantastic alternative and a great way to re-experience some of my favorite moments spending time with my sister. If you've been watching my channel ever since 2024, you might have noticed that as my videos near the end, there's this ethereal, otherworldly song that plays, and you might be thinking, what is that song? And who composed it? And where can I find it? Well, you can find it right here, because it was actually composed specifically for this channel by my friend Matt. Except he didn't realize it would become the unofficial theme song of my channel. He just thought that it was going to be a celebratory piece for Tears of the Kingdom being my #1 game of 2023. So I was so impressed by his work that I asked him to do an interview with me, and just as he recorded Danielle and me doing our Friendversary talk, Danielle recorded Matt and me doing the interview in the same basement with the same couch, in case you weren't paying attention. I loved hearing the creative process behind how Matt made the tune without having access to a full orchestra, and what was going through his head, and a couple of music terms that I hadn't heard. And Matt is just so much fun to interview because he has this very bubbly personality where he's constantly laughing and constantly making these really cool connections that make me chuckle every time. I often joke around that he and Danielle are just gender-swapped versions of each other, and that's why they work so well as a married couple. Just like I said in Danielle's version, because I want to be equal here, Matt did really help transform my mindset toward, if I get low views, but even just 1 or 2 people either express in the comments or click the like button, that's going to be a success to me, because huge, gigantic numbers aren't going to matter if I don't have those meaningful connections with people. And I feel like Matt and Danielle have really helped me to realize what it even means to have a meaningful connection. When I was going through depression, it was Matt that put his foot down. Normally he's not a very assertive person, but just one time we were on the phone and he just said, Paul, I forbid you from saying the word failure, because you are not a failure, and I want to hear about your accomplishments and what you're good at. It's really helped me to feel good about myself without being prideful. So I hope you'll enjoy highlights from Matt's interview. Be prepared to laugh almost as much as he is throughout this whole thing. And if you haven't checked out Paul's epic theme, there's a couple of music videos of it on the channel. So hope you enjoy those, and I hope if you watch this full interview for yourself, you'll come to a deeper appreciation behind such a wonderful piece of music.
Well, it's a good thing that someone on my channel knows music theory, because I certainly don't.
I don't either. I don't know.
How do you not know music theory and yet you're a composer?
Oh, I just wing it. So I don't know. I just wanted to make it something special for your #1. You know, it wasn't for #5 after all.
I mean, honestly, it does feel like very much like the kind of thing you would compose, because
Because I did write it.
Well, it fits your bubbly personality quite well.
Well, there is no epic music without epic Paul. Simplistic and wise. Simplistic wisdom. Simplisdom.
I always learn something new with you.
Treat everybody like it's their birthday.
On several occasions, I've alluded to the fact that I really love the community that I've fostered on this channel, and I've even been more explicit in saying I've met some of my best friends in the comments section. One of those people was Esabelle, who is my quality assurance assistant and who I've met up in person 3 times, the 3rd time happening this year, but that's not until a little bit later. For now, we're here to talk about the 2nd person in my comment section that I was able to meet in person, and that is none other than Tyria. I had put out a poll asking people what games they thought would be the winners in my Best Games of 2024 video, and Tyria was the only person that did it of her own free will. One of my friends did it because I asked her to, but she just answered the poll. Everyone else just stayed completely silent. And ever since then, we had a really long conversation in that comment thread, and that led to emailing, and that led to video calls, and eventually she just said, hey, I'm in your home state, I'm gonna be in the area, so why don't we hang out? Now, admittedly, the hangout wasn't too long, because she didn't have too much time, but I think we spent a good 4 hours together. We got to go to the lake, which is what you're seeing in the background footage. We walked around the boulevard near my house, and she's the type of person that I would liken to a boomerang, because she disappears for long periods of time, but as soon as she comes back like, oh my gosh, Paul, I didn't forget about you, you're amazing, and then we end up having a wonderful video call, and we're back to the same level of heightened excitement that we were when we first met. Tyria is the type of person that really tries her best to remember specific details about me, so she'll often make a lot of lists when I'm talking, and she's done a lot of personal projects without me asking her to. So there was one time where she drew a character from one of my novels, she drew a picture of me at one point, and she's the type of person that probably doesn't want to admit how very caring and very considerate she is of other people's feelings and helping those people feel unique as individuals, which I'm all about authenticity. So it's great when someone else is encouraging me to be authentic. I certainly hope this isn't the last time we are able to hang out, because we really did only just talk. We didn't really do anything fun. Like, we didn't play any video games. I know she plays video games. We just didn't have a chance to play any. So I'm hoping that maybe the next time when she has a bit more time and it's not so spur of the moment, we can have a more involved hangout. But for now, it just blows my mind that I'm able to take someone that was previously just words on a computer screen and be able to hug that person and hear her in real time and know that she's a real person occupying real space, and there's hope that we can have an epic reunion in heaven. I never would have expected, oh, YouTube is showing notifications. That now makes you the 2nd person in my channel's history to meet me specifically through YouTube.
Not as good as the first, but hopefully just as good in the future.
The reason she became my editor was because she was an editor on her own channel and she needed a job, and I said, all right. So maybe if you were an editor, it would have been the other way around. Maybe in an alternate universe that would have happened.
No, she's a better editor than I could be anyway.
We are at a lake right now, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but we wanted to get like something very beautiful to make sure that the background wasn't as boring as when I did that interview with Matt where you could see the outlet in the wall.
I did not see that one. I'll have to look it up. Poor Matt.
No, I think we look pretty visible on the screen. Yeah. Maybe our eyes are a bit off center because I don't know where the focal point is on this thing. But...
No, I mean like camera, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
So is there anything that you want to say in conclusion?
Thanks, Paul, for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. For this next friend, this one might be a little bit of a tearjerker, so if there are some of you who are criers, you might want to get your tissue ready, because I never, ever would have imagined that this would have happened. I still haven't met this person in real life, so to make the footage more interesting and to avoid just showing my mug on the camera, I asked her to pick out a handful of games that I've reviewed on my channel that she also liked, and I would provide footage from those reviews. So if you see a game in this section, you'll know that there's a review of it somewhere in my channel. Anyway, I have to word this very carefully because she and I have had a very rocky history, and she has given me permission to call her Ashley to keep her anonymous, as it's a bit of an inside joke between the two of us. Anyway, Ashley and I met a very, very long time ago, and we were such good friends that we talked pretty much every day, mostly about gaming stuff, although we're also both authors. And well, actually, I don't know if she's a published author just yet, but we both wrote books, and we would like show each other our manuscripts, and eventually we did a video chat. We played Super Smash Brothers together back when the Wii actually had internet service. It was terrible, but we still did it anyway. And we got into a disagreement that led to us separating. And that separation lasted 13 long years. And in 2025, out of completely nowhere, I never would have expected this coming, she sent me a message that said, "Can we reconcile and get back in touch?" And I said, "Heck yeah!" And it's such a cool coincidence that the last frame that I showed before I started recording this was me hugging Tyria. And I feel like if I could show you guys that frame endlessly, that would be basically how I feel about this. I don't know if she's much of a hugger. Again, we've never met in person, but I do feel like I don't really think too hard about the mistakes either of us made in the past. I just think we're back, each other is forgiven, and it's pretty much like no time has passed at all, because we still more or less talk about the exact same things as we did back then. Only she's much more mature now, and I think I'm more mature as well. She's the type of person that is constantly looking out for my feelings. Like, she'll sometimes see that someone posted a negative comment on one of my videos, which I don't get too often. But when I do, she picks up on it and then sends me a message saying, "Oh, Paul, I hope you didn't take that personally, because I don't want you to feel sad by people saying bad things about you." I really appreciate how she's so open to me just messaging her about just about any random crazy thought I had, especially if it comes to gaming. And I just love being able to have that kind of friend that I can have such a casual conversation with. I guess the best way I could describe us would be like playground buddies. You know how those 80s kids, they would talk about The Legend of Zelda and they'd say, "Guess what? I discovered this secret in the wall." That's kind of a bit how we talk. And I honestly wouldn't have it any other way, because there are many different types of friendships in the world. And even if it's not exactly the same as my friendships with other people, that doesn't make her any less valuable in my life. So I hope that that separation we had 13 years ago was the final time we would ever have to break apart. And I just thank God that reconciliation with a lowercase r is a real genuine thing, and it feels so good. So if you're holding on to a grudge from someone that you used to get along with, maybe it wouldn't hurt to reach out to that person and ask for forgiveness, or reach out to that person and forgive that person. I guarantee you, even just trying will probably make you feel a lot better than just holding it all in. Thanks to her, I can now create a positive time capsule of I reconciled with someone from 13 years ago that I blamed a lot of my struggles on. If I can overcome this, I can overcome pretty much anything that God throws at me. So, thank you, Ashley, for completely changing my perspectives for the better. Last year, I went on a retreat, and I met a guy named Kenny, who is one of the only people from that retreat that I've kept in touch with. We try to talk on the phone once a month, and something that he has really enjoyed doing when we talk on the phone is making a tier list of my opinions of every stage in Smash Brothers history. And I was so amazed by him being willing to initiate asking me to blab that it kind of rewrote a lot of the pains from my childhood, because a lot of times I was told that I talked too much about my own interests and people didn't want to hear all about the latest games that I was excited about. And I get that, yeah, maybe I was being a little bit rude by not thinking about other people's feelings, but at the same time, that did actually really hurt, because I was like, oh, does that mean the stuff that I like is stupid and people don't like what I like? So having Kenny be like, I want to hear your opinions on these stages, and I want to hear you fanboy about Banjo-Kazooie, because I think that your opinions are valuable. That really meant a lot to me. And generally, I just really appreciated Kenny's approach of, when he noticed there was something I wanted, he kind of knew what it was that I needed before I even said anything. Like on the retreat, I was a bit of a nervous wreck because I didn't really know anybody on that retreat. And he noticed that I was standing by myself against the wall, kind of being a bit nervous. And he recalled that I had mentioned that I liked video games when I did an introductory speech about myself, as everyone did. And so he said, hey, I was wondering if we could talk about some cool GameCube games like Super Smash Bros. Melee and Mario Kart Double Dash. And that started everything. And I ended up basically spending most of the retreat with him and not too many other people. And that's why you're seeing so much Super Smash Bros. Melee footage, because that's his favorite Smash Bros. Game. He's actually a professional Melee player. But something that I really like about our conversations is that even when we disagree, he somehow manages to make the conversation into what we do agree on. So it's been great to talk about aspects of Melee where we do think the same. Like, we both think the game has an amazing soundtrack. We both really like Fountain of Dreams and Temple. And it's great to foster common ground when so many people are all about me, and how unique I am, instead of thinking how connected are all of us. If you're the type of person that is an extremist on either side of the Nintendo controversy, if you're the type that absolutely despises Nintendo, or you're the type that loves them so much that you'll spend $70 on Pokemon Legends ZA, this is not the video for you. I am here to talk nuanced, but in this particular video, we're going to talk about my, as an individual, Paul's subjective perspectives on the Switch 2, what it feels like to have it in my hands, have it on my TV, experience it with my personal body and my personal senses without looking at all the data. I mean, you guys knew that when you saw the title of the video, my most epic memories, not everyone else's. So with that being said, one of the things I love the most about the Switch 2 is that it's iterative of the Switch and not innovative. And I know plenty of other people think the other way around, that they wished that it would have been this huge brand new leap forward. For me personally, I really don't care, because before the Switch 2 came out, the Switch was my favorite video game console. It brought us Banjo and Kazooie and Smash Brothers. It brought back Banjo-Kazooie to a Nintendo platform for the first time since it came out in 1998. And so many other of my greatest dreams when it came to video games came true. We got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 promoting pro-life messages. We got all the Zero Escape references in Nirvana Initiative. Smash Brothers just existing blows my mind. Persona 5 Royal finally came to a Nintendo system with the Switch. And just the general concept of being able to switch, hence the name, between handheld and TV was so mind-blowing that honestly I'll consider it a bit of a downgrade if companies don't do something similar for every single system going forward for the rest of my lifespan. What makes me so happy about having a Switch 2 is that I can really feel and detect the brightness and the vibrancy and the crispness. And it kind of like assaults my senses all at once. And it really hasn't lost its luster. Whenever I actually have the luxury to be in the basement and play games on my 4K TV, and I'm able to put it in 4K, because when I capture footage, I can only go up to 1080p, I really feel like, dang, it's like everything is so much more clear. You can see so much more into the distance, and the colors are so bright and vibrant. And even when I'm playing in handheld, there's just so much more detail, especially in Nintendo's first-party offerings, like in Donkey Kong Bonanza, being able to see every grain of sand, even in handheld mode. the Switch 1 would have really struggled trying to make a game like that work. And while it's true that a lot of the best games on the Switch 2 probably could have worked on the Switch 1 just with a few compromises, at the same time, having so much power and being able to subjectively experience it is mind-blowing. I absolutely love turning on Mario Kart World and saying, wow, this scenery genuinely makes me feel nostalgic for moments in my life, because it may not be a photorealistic graphic style, but it's close enough to real life that it reminds me of specific moments and can take me right back to those times. When I'm playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I am so thankful that the Switch 2 editions bumped them up to 4K and 60 frames, which, for those of you that don't know, that means your inputs are more responsive, you can see more in the distance, and the game never slows down because there's too much going on screen. Same thing with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. You're fighting through dozens of enemies, all on screen at the same time. They all move independently, no slowdown, no crashes. It's all just an absolute treat to see how Nintendo is taking the next step towards making their games more playable. And for those of you that say, now Paul, why don't you just get something like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X? My response to that is, can it go handheld? Can it seamlessly switch between handheld and TV? Because if I'm required to stick to the TV at all times, no thanks. And it's also got to have the first-party exclusives. Nintendo is the undisputed champion of first parties. Sure, the other consoles occasionally have good games, like Astro Bot seems pretty cool, but that's like the only good first party game that has appealed to me since Crash Bandicoot, maybe? But even then, Crash eventually came to Nintendo systems. I've loved the opportunity to revisit classic Switch games with enhancements, such as the new content in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I love the ports of Switch 1 games from third-party developers, such as Sonic X Shadow Generations, running much better. Admittedly, they didn't add much else to it, but it was fun for rental purposes. I'm loving the fact that the Switch 2 allows me to play GameCube games. Admittedly, there aren't that many at the moment, but it was my first opportunity to beat Super Mario Strikers. And that turned out to be a pretty good game, even if it's the kind of game that, if you didn't have it on Switch 2, it would be the definition of a rental. And while it's true that there are some overpriced games on the Switch 2 at present, especially as the new standard price is $70, my response is just rent. And I know that there are risks to renting, but I'm willing to take the risk as opposed to just taking the plunge and spending that $70 on something I might enjoy. At least with renting, you can just send it back and be guaranteed to get something else. And the Switch 2 has just provided more great experiences that aren't as compromised as they would have been on Switch 1. I'm not really sure how to poetically word this section because it is so personal. My eyes don't see the same thing that you guys do. Some people will say, oh, that game has so many frame rate problems, and I'm like, I didn't see any of that. I was just having so much fun that I didn't even notice. So for me personally, I think the Switch 2 is a great opportunity for more technically demanding games to be playable from Nintendo's first-party catalog. And it's also given me an opportunity to play more third-party games running better than ever. Is the Switch 2 the perfect solution to all of the Switch 1's problems? Heck no. But it's still a good enough purchase that I feel like was a spectacular birthday present. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Nintendo listens to the fans and truly makes this just as spectacular of a console as the Switch 1 was. Have you ever wanted to know, okay, if I start a YouTube channel, what should I do to make Paul really like it? Just be Ty the One-Up Guy. More specifically, emulate his style of authenticity. Tyler is the type of person that just does not know how to tell a lie or be fake. He's just so open about his feelings about games and even the games that he dislikes. And he is the type of person that is so funny with his gags and his writing that even when he and I disagree on an opinion, it's still one of the best videos I've ever seen all year. And I've had an absolute blast compiling all this background footage and taking some highlights from his channel, but that's not even what we're here to celebrate. Tyler and I have actually had quite a few opportunities in 2025 to have voice chats together. Since we both have Switch 2s, we've also been able to use game chat, and honestly, it works just as good as Nintendo advertised. So for once, they're not just puffing out their chests. It really is quite a good service, and I think you should consider investing in it if you have the means. But what's cool about talking to Tyler in person is that he represents what I just genuinely like to hear when I'm in conversation with anyone. Someone who is respectful when he disagrees and is willing to see your point of view. Someone who is authentic and is gonna tell you the truth as opposed to sugarcoating things. And we have enough common interests that if we don't feel like just talking, we can play games together, we can play Mario Kart together, and I don't remember if he likes Smash or not, but I know that he's a big Mario guy. I'm a pretty big Mario guy myself, maybe not as much as him, but I do think that most Mario games that we love, we both really love. And while it's true that I haven't talked to him as much as most of the other people on this list, because just like with Ashley, we haven't met up in person, he's the kind of guy that I could see potentially spending a week with and just playing games and talking about our favorite things just non-stop and never getting tired of it. He reminds me a lot of Matt and Danielle, but like the gaming version of them, and that is a really big compliment, because when friends remind me of other friends, that's usually a pretty good sign. And Tyler and I are almost complete opposites, and I think that also works really well, because I tend to really like people who are more expressive and maybe a little bit airheaded, but there's a certain charm to it, as I mentioned in the Danielle section. So I hope you will enjoy some of the best moments of Ty the One-Up Guy's YouTube channel in 2025. Keep in mind this is only a select portion, because goodness knows this video would be too long if I list all of them. And if you want more, you can check out my video called Why Ty the One-Up Guy is My Favorite YouTuber, or just watch his channel for yourself. So hope that this is a good enough preview to get you to check out who, in my opinion, is the best YouTuber currently uploading, and a really good friend at that.
The Nintendo Switch is home to 4 deluxe Wii U games, the first of which was presented pretty close to the Nintendo Switch's launch, that being Nintendo's excuse not to make a new Mario Kart in over 10 years because this thing hasn't slowed down in sales, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I remember seeing this and thinking, man, this is gonna hold me over until we get the brand new Mario Kart on the Switch.
It may be a decade in the console late, but it's about time. 2D Mario needed a shaking up, and in 2019, we got the exact opposite. When a new Super Mario Bros. Game comes out, the best thing that it can do over the next one is new levels. But nope, in 2019, a deluxe port of the Wii U's very own New Super Mario Bros. Luigi U was released on the Nintendo Switch, and you know what was new about it? Oh no. I was one of the few ding-dongs who bought and loved the Wii U.
And that says a lot about my character, huh?
In 2014, the Wii U was blessed with one of the best racing games of all time. Oh, and Mario Kart 8. And after playing a race or two of these, it was clear they were ripped directly from Mario Kart Tour, the microtransaction-ridden mobile game. But just because it's from Mario Kart Tour doesn't mean it's bad. But as one of our founding fathers said, a good tour track's got nothing on a Mario Kart 8 track. Oh, I have some fond memories of Mario Kart 7. As a personal Toad fan, seeing a Mario Kart game start with a Toad theme track was so refreshing. And I'm a sucker for the circuit tracks. Oh no. What did they do? And compared to a normal Mario Kart 8 track, this just looks bad. I mean, look at the grass. It doesn't even have a texture. That's just solid green. Following New York Minute, we have Mario Circuit 3. How many times did they bring this one back? Wait. This is a good Super Circuit track. What in the Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout Dizzy Heights looking Blender Dome feeling fruit shoot resembling slime climb whirly gig type map is this? I don't know what it is about Super Circuit tracks, but like these are the most mild tracks on the planet. Like this one has a neat premise. Like it's a jungle map that's not centered around Donkey Kong. That's cool, but it's teeny tiny. It's like, okay, man, I sure do wish there was more, but nope. Maybe this all stems from me being a middle child and demanding more attention as a kid, but I don't really care. But I'm not going to spend too much time on it because we finally have one of the good Mario Kart Super Circuit tracks. Why does the sun not set? So the whole point of Sunset Wilds is that every lap the sun goes down more and more. But in this one, it's constantly sunset. And people are saying, oh, well, it wouldn't work online. Counterpoint, just make it set when the first player passes the starting line. There are many workarounds. Without the sun setting, this just becomes a generic, boring, bad, lazy, awful, miserable. When you think of video games, I can almost guarantee you I know one of the first things that's going to pop into your mind. Oh, and now, Mario's a series I cover pretty often on this channel. There's so much more, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. It's very clear that this game was not meant to be played more than once, which is why I think it's definitely a game that you should play at a friend's house or rent it. Apparently Gamefly is still a thing. Back in 1992 on the Super Nintendo, Super Mario Kart drove its way into our hearts. And by our hearts, I mean nowadays everyone hates that game. I like Mario. I like Mario Kart. Nintendo can treat me like dirt as much as they want, but their funny little plumber will always put a smile on my face. I would like to live comfortably and play my games, but we don't live in a perfect world. If we did, Chibi Robo would be the face of Nintendo, and I would be the governor of Wisconsin. I was through the roof about a new Mario Kart, and sure, the $80 price point did suck, but the second I booted up the game, I completely forgot about it.
And that's not me defending the price, that's just me saying I'm easily distracted.
Locking playable characters behind a random item that someone else has to pull has got to be the stupidest idea since the motorized ice cream cone. That's a real thing, by the way. Everyone has a phone, which now means you no longer have an excuse not to play Fire Emblem.
Still not doing it though.
How do you not have games like Super Mario 3D World or Mario Kart Wii, but we have NES Gyromite? Yes, because when I go to work out, I'm gonna put on... Oh yeah, this and my energy shake are gonna pump me up.
There's two different types of people in this world. People who hate Mario Kart Super Circuit, and those who haven't played it yet.
Anytime you drive over a little bump, different terrain, or off-road, the player bounces in their cart, and yeah, that's a cool little detail.
Why does it shake the entire screen? And will I groan every time I see a Mario Kart Super Circuit track in a future Mario Kart? Yes.
Wait, what?
Does this game even hold up? No. No, it doesn't.
We're regressing.
Is this game more of a novelty nowadays, and will I boot it up less than Mario Clash on my Virtual Boy? 100% yes.
And now you're just being mean.
Because at the end of the day, do I like Mario Kart Super Circuit? Not even a little bit.
The Luigi's Mansion series is one of Nintendo's most slept-on titles in my opinion. The way they seamlessly blend puzzle solving, ghost hunting, and spooky aesthetics, oh, they're just wonderful. Each of which being absolutely stunning on their respective consoles. Minus this slideshow.
And I'll be honest, hearing somebody say that Luigi's Mansion 2 did something better than the other ones in this series is probably the scariest opinion you've heard all year. Or is it? Because this is my favorite Paper Mario game.
Hey everyone, it's In-Person Paul here. This may seem like a bit of a controversial decision, what I'm about to say, but unfortunately I think at this point I'm going to have to speedrun through the items in the Catholic section. Not because I don't love God. I mean, just look at my t-shirt if you can see it properly. That's from a Catholic conference. Obviously I love God to literally wear it on my sleeve. It's just that I don't have much interesting to say. It's about the equivalent of taking something like Spy Fox and Operation Ozone, which is a game I have not played in years, and saying, oh, I remember liking that back then. but I wouldn't be able to point out specifics about why I liked it. I just remember liking it. So that's the kind of vibe I got when reading over this. There's still some good stuff in here that I want to talk about. But this video is also 1 hour and 3 seconds as of the time of this 1 hour and 3 minutes as of the time of this recording, and I made a lot of sacrifices to try to keep it to that length. So I'm going to have to make a few sacrifices here for the sake of brevity. The Chosen Season 5 came out this year, and it was pretty good. I don't remember too many specifics about it, but I do remember liking how the Last Supper was portrayed. The Garden of Gethsemane was phenomenal, and Jonathan Roumie did a great job of capturing Jesus' emotional range. This year, the Easter Vigil was the day before my birthday, which meant my birthday was right on Easter, and considering that Easter is the most important day of the year for Catholics, that was a huge honor. The Easter Vigil was a bit funky this year. Like, none of the original singers from the previous years reprised their singing roles. There were a few people that came back, but they sung different songs. Some of the songs were completely different, and I called it the Funky Vigil. The Gloria was still absolutely phenomenal, but it's also a pretty long song, so I decided I'm probably just going to skip it this year. You guys have heard this parish's Gloria before in the previous 2 Best Memories videos, and it's more or less the same, just slightly different instrumentation, but it's still absolutely glorious, and I hope you will check out those videos on my channel where I specifically just highlighted the Gloria. But the last 2 memories on this list, since they're a bit more recent and a bit more powerful, I have more interesting things to say. For the third item I have on my Catholic section, I got miraculously healed right on Mario Day, which for those of you that don't know, Mario Day is March 10th, because my notes are blocking the way. MAR10 looks like it says Mario's name. And I made an entire video about this. The video is called I Was Miraculously Healed on Mario Day, so if you want all the details and all the describing the environment and all that, you can watch that video. The Cliff Notes version, for the sake of this video, is I asked 3 people to pray over me. Those people were named Allie, Francesca, and Mike. And I had been going through excruciating knee pain. I almost fell over on my way over to be prayed over. And by the end of the night, I was fine. And finally, this year, I was really able to finally get back into youth ministry. I was able to help out at Vacation Bible School, and I was able to lead I believe it was the 4th and 5th graders, the oldest group of kids. Thankfully, the youth minister knows I eventually want to work with high schoolers. And even though it was a bit grueling, it was nice when the leaders would literally say, group leaders, now's your chance to teach your kids what this means. And I would ask my assistants if they wanted to add anything, and they'd say, oh, that was really well said, Paul. There were some funny jokes that were told in the art room about my lack of artistic ability, and the water balloon fight at the end was genuinely a blast. I know when you're chaperoning events for kids, sometimes you have to kind of pretend you're enjoying yourself during some of those cheesy songs, but that smile was 100% real, and those laughs were 100% genuine during the water balloon fight. And I wore my swimsuit and my wetsuit the entire time that day at VBS. Not a single person noticed. So, as much as I promote body positivity, I also think modesty has a time and a place as well. And I think if you can have both modesty and body positivity, that's probably the closest we're going to get to a modern day Garden of Eden. And then I also was finally able to be an assistant catechist. The first half of this year, I was an assistant catechist to 3rd graders. And then after that semester wrapped up, now I'm currently assistant teaching 4th and 5th graders, which meant that the kids in my 3rd grade class from the previous semester are now in the other class because 4th and 5th grade share a classroom together. And I'm just so honored to be able to chime into existing lessons as opposed to planning themselves, because I am horrendous at administration type of stuff. And you could call me impatient, but there's also a retreat I'm going on 2 days from now that's called Hearing God's Voice. My excitement for wanting to put this video out relatively soon prevented me from waiting just 2 more days to film for this. But I have the basement to myself, so I wanted to take advantage of it. But overall, I'm just very thankful that God has worked in great ways this year. And even in the non-Catholic section, where I was talking about my friends, I can still thank God for a lot of stuff that happened. I'm sure God gave Ashley a little bit of a nudge to send that message to reconcile us after 13 years. I'm sure God was giving advice to Matt and Danielle when they were encouraging me. And he just has really blessed me with amazing friends and a good, healthy life. So hopefully I'll keep making these until the day I die. So now we're going to get into the grand finale of this video. And there's just 2 more things I have left. But there is a bit of a bittersweet tone to it. And that is that we are about to talk about Esabelle coming to come and meet me for the first time, which would make this the 3rd time overall I've seen her in person. I was debating how to say this for a couple of months now, because unfortunately, due to financial restrictions, I am no longer going to be having Esabelle as my quality assurance assistant by the time she finishes a handful of new projects that she wanted to finish up so that she didn't just abruptly quit. It's not an issue of us not getting along or us fighting or anything like that. It's just that she felt bad about taking my money when I desperately needed it to support my family. So that's why I decided to save her visit for last. It was not for the sake of favoritism or anything like that. It was because I wanted this video to be a good send-off. To be like, okay, this is going to be the grand finale of Esabelle's involvement on my channel. So you'll see highlights of the trip. You'll hear my thoughts and feelings on the trip. We have a special outro that we filmed that we saved just for this video. And in my best games video, since I have a bit of a musical tribute, you'll be able to see that as well. So thank you very much for sticking through me this long. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on Esabelle's visit, and thank you again for all of your support over all these years of me making these Best Memories videos. In 2022 and 2024, I went to go visit Esabelle in her home state, and this year she came to visit me in mine. Of course, she didn't come alone. My friend Teresa from my home state was there, and from Esabelle's gang, she brought along her sister, her brother-in-law, and for just a little bit, her boyfriend, now fiancé. One of the coolest things about that trip was that we got to go to Comic-Con together. We didn't actually spend that much time together as a group, besides just getting a picture of all of us and then meeting up to leave. But it was still nice to be able to say, during that vacation, we also did Comic-Con. And the general vibe that I loved about the entire experience was that it felt like being part of a family, like we were brothers and sisters, and that came with all the pros and cons of that. On one hand, it felt nice to be in a bit of a community. Even though it was only a week, it did feel like quite a bit longer. Sure, we didn't always agree on everything, and we got into a few scuffles here and there, but that was also part of the charm, as that's how it is to have siblings in real life. But it was also great when we worked through our differences and managed to find common ground and make plans on how we can get along even better if we ever have another trip. Esabelle doesn't like it when I say if, so I should probably say if and when we have another trip. And I think my backup plan for making the next trip more exciting has excited her, and I think now she's more excited than ever. I appreciated that we were able to do some filming, including that skit for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. She brought along some of her costumes so that I could take pictures with her, because she genuinely is really good at dressing up as characters in games that I love. I thought the scenery was really beautiful. I may not have acted like it at the time, but it was some jaw-droppingly great environments. I'm a bit at a loss for words because it is a bit bittersweet knowing that this was the final trip in which some of the things that we did on it was contributing to one of these end-of-year videos, as the next time we see each other, we're probably not going to do too much filming, and if we do, it's probably going to be much briefer. But at the same time, this was quite a way to head out, as I'm really proud of the intros and outros that we did for the best games and best memories. So without further ado, this ends my speaking portion of the video. Now we're gonna let the highlight reel and the special outro that we filmed and my special music video that I'm also going to be showing in the best games video act as one final send-off to Esabelle before she moves on to bigger and better things. Though, I do want to add, I forgot to mention this in the previous section, but she did say she'd be willing to ask for her job back if things improve, and I have promised her that if I ever do hire another editor, that I will tell that person, hey, Esabelle gets her job back if things improve, so this is only a temporary position. So who knows what the future brings? Maybe Esabelle will come back and we'll be able to have a return video. But for now, I hope you will thank her for all that she has done for this channel. Thank you to all of my friends for all the great things that you've done this year. Thank you, God, for all the blessings you've bestowed on me. And let's hope that 2026 will have some amazing memories, but also let me keep the video at a reasonable length. So until the next time, remember to keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye!
Who are you?
Esabelle, you don't remember me?
Well, your
I bet
hair
you
is
have
so
such
much.
a good memory.
Well, your hair's so much shorter, so surely you must be a different person because it's not the same as it was in the previous trip.
What about my face? Doesn't that help?
Maybe. I mean, surely faces aren't everything.
What about my memories of us spending time together before?
Our lovely memories of me trying to kill you, huh?
I wasn't talking about that memory. I'm still trying to delete that from my brain.
I was expecting there to be a lot of families and screaming kids, but no. It was just...
Screaming kids.
Oh yeah, like in the last vlog, like when I told them.
I was with my boyfriend the whole time.
Yes, she has... We haven't actually announced that you have a boyfriend yet on this channel, so
No.
You're hearing it from her first.
Mm-hmm.
You want to quickly point the camera over there? He doesn't...
Do you consent?
I consent.
Bring it over. There he is. So there you go, audience. You can stop bugging me in the comments. I think my favorite was meeting Todd, because I was not expecting him to be so outgoing, and he was just really good at keeping conversation flowing. Our camera woman made a bit of a face there, so that's why I was pausing.
Lean into the things that you're into, the media, books, games, whatever you're into, lean into it.
So if you're my friend, should I be leaning onto you?
No.
Thank you so much, Esabelle, for coming to visit me. It's been a blast.
Of course.
Oh, my audience, this is a special segment. You were
Continue.
gesturing. You were gesturing toward me.
Don't mind me. I'm gesturing for their sake, not yours.
Ah, okay. We are nearing the end of the trip, but we wanted to film this extra special segment that is not going to be in the vlog to celebrate the best memories coming to a conclusion. I had her dress up in her...
My Zelda costume.
Specifically Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom, because there's a game coming out later this year called Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and that's how Zelda dresses in that game. Whether or not it makes it onto the list, we still don't know, but I'm pretty sure it will, because there's never been a list where a Warriors game came out that year where it didn't make the list.
Sounds good.
For sure. So at this point, we're just going to talk about like what we thought about the year so far and just general thoughts about the trip that maybe we didn't mention in the vlog. So first of all, have there been any amazing things that have happened this year that you wanted to tell the audience as like, wow, this year has been great because of this factor? And you can mention stuff on the trip too.
Okay, well he said stuff that isn't mentioned in the vlog. I don't know what ultimately is and is not going to be mentioned in the vlog. So, and it's only May. So please bear that in mind that it is only May whenever we're filming this, so I don't know what's yet to come. So far, it has been a busy year for me personally. A lot of travel. I have been, staying with my sister and brother-in-law in another state from Oklahoma. So I have been there for a few months now, since late February. I've been learning a whole bunch of new skills. I've been seeing a whole bunch of new sights, meeting new people. Also, I now have a boyfriend. I've been going up to Ohio to visit him, get to know him better, see how the relationship advances. So again, a lot of new sights, a lot of new adventures. And obviously, I am here on Paul's home turf. So seeing a whole bunch of northern sights compared to where I live. You guys, for anyone who knows my channel, I live in Oklahoma, so it's not hard to get further north than me. So I've been seeing a whole bunch of cool sights, seeing the beach, getting to witness like a whole bunch of sights that I normally would not have access to. And that's been really fun. It's been a great year thus far, but again, it's only May, so we'll see what else happens. And of course the Comic-Con too.
Right, yeah. Comic-Con was pretty incredible. Probably like my number 2 memory of the year so far. So far, yes, it's only May, but I do have a fair amount on my list, which you guys will see in the video once it comes out. But I will say that one thing I want to say right now that I probably won't say in the vlog is that I am very impressed by the camaraderie that we have. We just seem like we all get along really well, and you know, we had a couple of differences, but once we worked out those differences, I feel like it made us stronger, because it's like, okay, now we understand each other better.
Yeah, we definitely have some varied interests in the group that we currently have on the trip. So I mean, that's the thing about friendship though, is there's compromise, there's sacrifice, and thank you, Paul, for making the sacrifices that you have, because I have never been here before, and I really want to be able to experience everything.
Well, I think you did say that you were still able to experience what you wanted despite how I was feeling at the time, so I'm happy for you in that respect.
I mean, I made sacrifices whenever you were in Oklahoma, and I'm grateful that you're willing to return the favor.
For sure, yeah, always. So before we close out the best memories video, I wanted to give another inspirational speech to you guys, just like I did last year. And I wanted to give you guys all a heads up that the situation that I mentioned in last year's video that made 2024 the worst year of my life is now significantly better than it was back then. We are at, actually I think we've gotten 2 steps further in the process. Again, not allowed to say it to anyone but her. But it was great that there was one time where she and I were at the pool at the hotel by ourselves, and no one else at the hotel was even there. So we got a nice chat about it, because again, she's the only one that I can talk about it with, and being able to tell her the good news not only helped me feel better, but it helped her feel better, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you went something like, I'm so glad that it's further progressed.
Yes, it was a huge relief to actually hear some positive updates on the situation.
And I would say that overall my year has been a lot better than 2024. There have certainly been some setbacks. Earlier this week, exactly a week and 1 day ago, I was laid off from my job, so certainly won't have anything related to the gym on this list, but at the same time, I'm optimistic about it because 1, I did not like the owner, so I'm glad that she's no longer my boss. And 2, I'm still a member of the gym. Like, I get free access for an entire year, so I'm still happy that I can still see the customers, I can still work out, I can still use that place as a makeshift bathroom if we ever have plumbing problems. And so even when there's bad stuff going on in your life, try to think of the positives. Try to think about what's to come, and like try to think of the absolute bare minimum that could be happening. And if you have a lot, maybe try to give some to those who have less. Did you want to add anything to that?
Honestly, I think you summarized it perfectly.
Very nice. Well, in that case, thank you, Esabelle, for being willing to be a part of my videos and being willing to dress up for the occasion. I especially love that, because this is by far my favorite of all the costumes you've ever dressed up in.
Really? Of all? Even the Pauline dress?
Yeah, I like it even better than the Pauline dress.
Well, that's good. That's good. The thrift store was very obliging with these items.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. And fun fact, this scarf that she has is the same one she used in her Princess Peach outfit for last year.
This was a gift from my best friend in college for my 21st birthday, so it's very handy for these skits. I should thank him again for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love giving you hugs whenever you're in outfits, so is it okay if I give you another one?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Your outfit is amazing.
Thank you.
And this hug can help warm you up a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of cold in here, and I am currently sleeveless.
Well, thankfully she was accommodating when I told her that Zelda was not wearing sleeves in that game. She was like, I can make do.
I make do for art.
So with that, did you have anything you wanted to say to the audience going forward before we wrap up the video?
Well, it's really trippy to think about this being several months into the future, but I hope that you guys also had a great year and have a great 2026.
And I would like to add that I hope that by the time this video comes out, there will have been many good games on the Switch 2 that you can hear about in my best games video.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that if you're one of those people that's overly negative about the price of the Switch 2 and the price of the games, that you can look at the positive, that it's powerful, that it's iterative of the Switch because it was such a good machine, and that there seems to be good games, and just, again, try to look for the positive within the negative. So with that, do you want to say your catchphrase and then I'll say mine?
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and keep living nothing less than your best life into the new year.
And I will say remember to keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye!
Strange world, it's so vast and deep. All these things, wild and new to see. On my own, far from home, I was scared alone. When your beat showed the way to when it all seems so dark and bleak, when the whole looks so cold and deep, I hold tight, leave it all, just let go and fall. Let your peace light the way. Look at us, so big and small, two together through it all. Heart of gold, a wish come true. You and me, unbreakable.